All right, we've started. We've begun.
Oh,
Ow!
okay. I didn't know. Sorry.
The
Um,
candle has been lit.
the candle has been lit. Johanna, you can say that right now.
Let's light this candle.
All right, let's do that. So today is the day after the Super Bowl. I thought it'd be fun to just do a little roundtable discussion about a few key items that took place with the Agents of Helm. Let me introduce everybody. We have Malik. Say hi.
Yo, what's going on, people?
Joe.
What's up, people?
Johanna.
Ahoy hoy.
Okay.
Well,
And
I used up. You told me to do the one-liner. Fine. Fix it in post. Let's light this candle.
Okay, apocalyptic princess.
I'll do better next time. I promise.
And I would like to welcome our newest member, McKenna. McKenna, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, great. So I thought we would start off in no particular order. I'm just going to cover a few items. We're going to start with Katy Perry's halftime show. Joe, I know you thought that Missy maybe stole the show from Katy Perry.
Stole it right out of her California girl dress. Yeah.
But
I really thought she was going to pop out of one of those sharks. You guys who saw that, the sharks that were dancing outside, I said, watch Missy come out of one of those sharks. It's going to be awesome. That didn't happen. That would have been awesome. If she would have like pulled the head down and came out through the teeth. They was like, let me work it. Just, that would have came on. That would have been awesome. But her little, I guess 4 minutes she might have been out. It was great. I mean, it really got everything going. Not that Katy was bad. I think just Missy's performance just kind of took it to the next level, and everybody was like really energized after they saw that. The Lenny Kravitz piece, it was like, dude, why'd you even ask him to come out? What did he do?
Yeah.
He was out there for like 30 seconds, maybe.
I think you were right. I think it would have been great if he would have done
American Woman, man. American Woman with Katy Perry would have been awesome.
Appropriate. Yes.
Because you think Katy Perry is America, right, Johanna?
Oh, yes. So I have this theory. I mean, just watching it, she kind of has like this cheerleader pose, and everything's very Vegas and over the top, and like there's all these songs that are like anthems. Like, that the Seahawks might have gone home that night singing Firework to each other. They might have come in singing Roar, and then they went out singing Firework. Like they're just like these anthem-y songs. Disregarding the fact that she looked like a fucking Lisa Frank binder. You guys know who Lisa Frank is?
Lisa Frank or
Lisa
Frank
Frank.
Binder?
Lisa Frank.
You know who she is, McKenna?
Yeah, of course I do.
It's like these like really like girly colored, like they have sphinxes and everything's like pink and blue and kittens, rainbows, unicorns. Like Katy Perry's basically a Lisa Frank binder come to life.
What's the flame outfit she wore? I've been seeing people posting things online being like what Katy Perry looked like during the halftime show, and my favorite one is they put her next to a picture of Will Ferrell in Blades of Glory when he has
funny.
on that thing, right? And everybody's saying that Will Ferrell wore it better.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I thought she was going for like
a
Hunger Games. type
Yeah, that's
thing.
what I was thinking too.
No, but
Riding on the head of the lion. That was amazing. I thought it looked great. You didn't think it was so great because you could see the puppeteers.
Well,
But
I
the
mean,
fact
it
that
was
she was
like
standing on
really
the
cool. It would have been really cool if the thing was actually walking on its own. I mean, it just kind of. I mean, it was a cool effect, but it just kind of ruined it when the camera showed the guys down there like grabbing the feet and moving them.
But she was actually standing on like those guys doing that.
Yeah, she
like,
was, and she was. It seemed like she was. What you call it? Clearly, she had to be like strapped in because the lion like roared and stepped back on its hind legs.
Yeah,
and
I was
she
reading
was,
something.
like backwards.
They said that
She was like leaning
she
way
looked
back.
scared. Did you think she looked scared?
and you really couldn't see her face when the thing leaned back, and then she kind of like popped out, and then they cut the camera and they went to the stage, and then next thing you knew, she was on stage.
Yeah, that's not something you can really practice ahead of time. So I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that was a one-time run through for her. So yeah, I'm sure it probably scared the living shit out of her.
You said I didn't see it. She came out on a lion puppet.
It wasn't a puppet.
It was huge. It was like four guys.
It was huge.
She was like 30 feet up in the air. This
Yeah.
thing was
Oh
huge.
shit!
I thought it was like incredible that they even were able to do that with people. Like I liked that they used people. It was like the Lion King, but like this crazy super Lion King. Like
Did they tell
Incredible
you?
Hulk.
Did they say what the lion's name was? In the music video, he has a name.
What is it?
What?
Kitty Purry.
Oh, that's right. He's
Oh,
got
God.
a name
Oh,
tag.
Lord have mercy. No.
Yeah,
that's
Malik.
right.
I mean, not
Katy
Malik.
Perry.
Lorenzo, I'm surprised you don't know this stuff since I know you got your Katy Perry playlist.
No,
What's your YouTube
when
playlist?
she said that, like I immediately remembered the scene where it shows the name tag. Yeah, I've seen that video like a million times.
I think McKenna didn't know you had a Katy Perry playlist. I think that's why she was laughing.
McKenna, I rock out to Katy
What?
Perry in the mornings.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big Katy Perry fan. She's very. If I had a daughter, I would
Oh.
make sure my daughter listened to Katy Perry. Because she's just like a very inspirational.
there- It's hit and miss with me. There's
I mean, yeah, not all
some
of her
songs
stuff.
of hers that mostly it's just really like her music. I hate her. She bugs the living crap out of me.
I
Why?
like
Because
her.
she's a California girl?
I
Is
think
that
she's
why?
funny.
Is it because she kind of tries to have this
No,
Hello Kitty
I can't
sort of?
stand her because she's about 12% of what California girls are. Just first of
Oh.
all.
How
And
did
second
you
of all-
can you tell me how you came up with 12%? That's what I'm really curious about. How is she 12% of what California girls are?
How much of California is Malibu sandy beaches, which is
that where she came
decides
from?
No,
to tell
she was
people
part of a
California
cult.
about 12%.
Well, it's the best 12 though, McKenna.
Do you wanna?
It's the best 12.
Wasn't
That's
she?
Clearly the best 12.
Wasn't
I mean,
she? In
it's-
oh, sorry.
Right? Isn't it like 12% of all sandy beaches that are in Southern California, everybody? That's what California girls are.
I mean, but that's the only part that we care about.
I say, why do we care about the California girls that work at Arby's?
Okay.
I don't care about that.
But I mean, also like, that's like her persona. What the record company has.
All
made
right,
up for her. Well, because wasn't she like in a
True.
cult or something? She was like in some sort of cult.
No,
or-
she's a pastor's daughter. She's a pastor's daughter.
I thought they were like super conservative, like with a capital
Maybe.
S.
No,
and that was the
they
whole
were
thing.
super
Maybe.
conservative. I saw an interview because if you let the playlist go,
Oh,
it'll go to
let's
her,
ask the expert.
it'll go to her South by Southwest performance, and I think she was pretty. It was pretty early on in her career, I think. And she talks about how her parents were really strict, and so she never really heard pop music. But then when she wanted to do singing, she went to Nashville, and that was where she met people. And then I guess she came back to California after that. But she sounded like she spent some time in Nashville, like getting and she did her like her time. I don't know if she did much time, but she put in some time before she became famous.
Hey,
Sometimes it doesn't seem
don't
like
get me
people do.
wrong. I love her. Like some of her songs. Like I'm sorry. I don't care who you are, and I don't care where I am. If Dark Horse comes on, you're gonna get
Yeah,
danced
girl.
up on. I love that song. I will dance up on anybody if that song is playing. It could be my 75-year-old grandmother, and I'll be like, "Come on, grandma." And I'll start dancing to that song. I love that song. And also, I had her whole first album. I really liked her first album. So I guess, I don't know. I can't stand watching her music videos. I really can't stand her, but I really like her music, and I'm totally okay with admitting that.
You didn't like Last Friday Night?
No, I did like that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought her and Missy were going to sing together since Missy did the intro on the remix. So I thought they were going to sing that, and they didn't.
The part where they did Dark Horse, that was pretty good too. I thought, like, the dancers, I liked it.
Yeah.
What about you, Malik? Did you feel one way or another about the halftime show?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of Katy Perry. I'm a huge fan of the way Katy Perry looks.
Yeah.
So I was really happy just to see her for 25 minutes on screen, which was
There's two
awesome.
reasons to
And
see Katy Perry, right?
well, yeah, yeah. But see, the thing about it is, I actually thought that she gave a relatively interesting performance. Like, I don't know why. So there were so many people. There were a lot of people online that were like ripping her performance. I was like, how many people, come out on the big lion, and then like there was all these different set pieces.
She looked precarious.
She had all of these like different like outfit changes, and like at one point she was wearing the Missy outfit thing with the 49 jersey.
She was
and then
just
she
a
had the
jacket
dress.
over her skirt. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she had the dress when she was singing a ballad, and then she came in. Obviously, she came in on that lion outfit thing, whatever. I mean, I thought it was a really interesting, really fun show, and the California Girls, bikini thing that she was wearing and everything. Like, so I thought it was a good show. I don't know if, to me, I think the Missy thing was such a surprise that's probably why Missy and her group, just really killed it. And the other thing is that Missy can dance and Katy Perry really can't. So, when up there and she's up there with her dancers and they're doing all of the dance steps and stuff like that, and you see Katy Perry, stiffly trying to mimic all of that stuff, it looks funny. And then, everybody's like, oh, she just killed it. And I must say, I don't care if it's 10 seconds or 10 minutes, Lenny Kravitz is boss. And whenever he's out there, that's my boy. Like, she brought out Lenny Kravitz. I was cool with it. That was it. I was like, all right, just a good show to me. I'm straight. I am perfectly fine with it.
I wanted so much more Lenny Kravitz, though, man. American Woman just would have sent it over the top, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why not?
The worst
So
part
good.
The worst part for me, though, of the show is that you realize is that it really shows my age here, because obviously Lenny Kravitz comes on and I'm really happy. I'm really buzzing about Lenny Kravitz, and of course my 10-year-old daughter says, "The guy from Hunger Games plays guitar."
Oh no!
That is funny.
And that just completely shut down my life right there. I was just like, okay, okay, I guess this is Lenny Kravitz for the new generation. She was just like, he sounds good. Like,
You can do that.
That hurt. That hurt.
Oh, that's the worst.
She twisted the knife a little bit.
Well,
But other than that, the show was cool. I liked it.
so do you? Well, I don't want to get off on a tangent. I was going to ask you if you share much music with your daughter. Like, you try to influence her taste at all.
No, I mean, I definitely play whatever I want to play when I'm in the car and stuff like that. And I do try to show her, or at least to tell her, about like the influences of like certain people that she listens to are influenced by people that she doesn't think are good. Like, so like Whitney Houston, for instance, like she's a huge fan of Beyonce and Alicia Keys, and but she doesn't like when Whitney Houston would come on the radio. She'd be like, "Oh, what's this? It's old," and then I have to explain to her, like, the people that you listen to, they listen to her, and then eventually she'll come around to it. But it's a generational thing. It's hard once they start catching on to what they like. Like, my daughter is now on this Taylor Swift kick, and she really likes her. So
Poor
she really likes
thing.
Katy Perry too. Honestly, I don't have a problem with it, McKenna. I really don't, because Taylor Swift doesn't sing about anything remotely. Like, my daughter's 10, and Taylor Swift, she relates to 10-year-old girls, and that's okay.
Nope.
This crap
Totally.
that she sings about,
She's safe.
I
she's very
agree.
safe.
She's a
And I'll
Lisa
take it.
Finder.
I'll take it, because she could be listening to Amy
No,
Winehouse.
not as
and
much
I'd be
as
safe.
Katy Perry is.
No, she's more like a binder with little hearts drawn on it with boys' initials in it.
She's like Skipper. Like, remember Barbie and Skipper? She's like
Yeah.
if Skipper was a singer. Like, that's what Taylor Swift is to me. I'm like, she is super safe. Awesome. Like, everything about her is like TVY7. Like, so I have no problems. I have no problems with my daughter being a Taylor Swift fan now. Now, in a few years, she's still rocking Taylor Swift. Then we'll see.
Who's the one that went like crazy? wasn't what's that girl's name? She's really famous, and
Britney,
she just no, like newer than Britney Spears.
Demi
Miley
Lovato.
Cyrus?
No, more famous than her.
Ariana Grande.
More
She's
famous than her,
crazy,
I
crazy.
think.
So
Or
Miley
just
Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus, yeah. She used to be like on Disney, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
Hannah
she
then
Montana.
Hannah
yeah. So
Montana.
I must have been very like hard for. I never really thought about it from the perspective of parents of girls who are like looking up to her, and then she goes all apeshit. Um, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. So the next thing I thought we would talk about is how most of America. I think Kenna said this. Most of America wanted Tom Brady to lose. Is everybody on the same page with that one?
No, not me.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
Um,
yeah.
go ahead.
No,
Go ahead,
I was
Martha.
just
Sorry.
no. You go ahead, Malik. Let me hear what you have to say.
Um, I think that there's a time like there's a time to dislike the guy and dislike the team all you want. But what we are seeing from this player is quite possibly we may not see this again in our own lifetimes. We may not see a guy who plays for 14, 15 years for the same team and has this level of success over the course of his career. We may never see this again. I mean, we've gotten. I think that the opportunity to see greatness in its true form, especially in its prime. Like I've never understood people hating Michael Jordan because we may never see Michael Jordan again. We're not seeing it now. There's nobody in the league that's like Michael Jordan. If you hate you're gonna miss this when he's gone. You're gonna miss people really miss Michael Jackson now that Michael Jackson is no longer doing anything, no longer making music, despite the fact that they hated him and they talked so horribly about him over the course of his life. So I feel like if you don't like the Patriots because you're a fan of some other team that plays against them, or if you just don't like the Patriots because they're from Boston or you think they're cheaters or whatever, that's the Patriots. That's the team, and that's the city of Boston. I get that, but this guy, what he's doing is remarkable, and to just not want him to win because you just don't like there's no real reason to dislike him other than he wins a lot and he's got it all. And it just, to me, I don't know when we're going to ever see that again. And so I appreciate that for what it is. So I didn't necessarily I didn't have a dog in this race, in this game. I didn't really care for one side or the other, but I wasn't upset because he won.
I actually, and I don't know if it's just like a woman thing, but I know a lot of women feel a certain sort of, I guess not resentment, but I mean, if you're going to watch football and you see this man, because he left Bridget Moynihan when she was pregnant. I know that I was teaching, and it was some Super Bowl that they lost.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going into the library, and the librarian telling me that's what he gets for cheating on his wife or something like that. So I don't know if that's, I know that's definitely like, I mean, part of it is that he looks like a smug asshole all the time, but some part of it was just kind of that felt like really, disloyal. But mind you, there are NFL players who've done a lot worse. So I think you're right. I think he's just probably an easy target.
Well, and I agree too, Malik. I actually said when we were doing our pre-talk, I didn't want originally I was rooting for the Patriots, or excuse me, the Seahawks, because I wanted a West Coast team to win. That's just me. I was like, yeah, West Coast. But then when the whole thing came out about the Patriots and the supposedly but officially deflated balls, whatever, then I was like, at that level, when you're in the NFL, that's done. You don't cheat like that anymore. You are paid millions upon millions of dollars to be the best and really, really, really good at what it is that you do. So that kind of, those stunts, they don't fly anymore. So for me, it was 100%. I wanted a West Coast team to win because, again, I'm the same way. I didn't have a stake in this game, and I just on, you know, the national and professional level that they were. I don't condone cheating. So that was just, those were my reasons for rooting for the Seahawks. To be honest, I couldn't care less who got MVP. I could care less who gets MVP every year. I mean, even if my team was playing, I wouldn't care who got MVP. So for me, it was more about those two factors for why I was rooting for the Seahawks.
Malik, do you want to respond to that?
Well, I mean, as far as the deflated football stuff is concerned, I think that there's obviously, people's feelings on it. Until all the information comes out, there's always speculation about whether or not they cheated. I mean, it's pretty clear that that this team or this organization has been responsible for some shady things or shady happenings in the past. And that obviously makes the entire organization easy targets. Anytime anybody says anything about, any allegations of anything, it makes them very easy. It's very easy. It's like, second-time felons or something like that. It's very easy to just kind of look at them and say, yep, I believe that they did it. But for the player himself, just for the guy himself, and I know Johanna mentioned about him, cheating on his pregnant, I guess she was his girlfriend. I don't think they were married.
No, I don't think
so. No, they were not married.
She was pregnant with his child, and he left her and cheated on her. Look, I don't pretend to know what goes on in the personal lives of these players, and what they deal with. So I don't pretend to know what happened to cause him to leave her. If I knew, maybe I would be able to make a better, more well-informed decision about the person. But like you said, there's so many other, really, 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 bad things happening out there with people doing crazy stuff. Like that is probably a light, really light thing. I think it's just people just don't like to see this guy on top, smiling all the time, laughing, smiling and just enjoying the shit out of his life. And I appreciate it. Like, hey, I mean, we should all look. If my son decided he wanted to be a quarterback and play football, I'd tell him to watch Tom Brady, because that guy does it the right way on the field. He plays hard. Maybe he looks like a smug bastard, but everybody from all accounts, the people that know him say that he's a great guy, he's a great teammate, and he's a great friend. So those are the things that I hear about him, and then I see him play, and I'm just watching greatness on the field. So.
All right, Joe, do you want to say anything about this?
Sure, real quick. Yeah, I just can't stand the Patriots, and I wanted them to lose. I didn't care who they played. As far as Tom Brady's greatness, we all know he's great. He's kind of like Floyd Mayweather that way. Like, I think half the world wants Mayweather to lose, just because he's so good, and they just want to see him lose finally because he's real cocky about it. And Tom Brady also throughout his career has been. I mean, if you're good at anything, you should be a little cocky, and he's been cocky in the past, and and they got the Deflategate and all this stuff, and Spygate, and all kinds of other gates going on, and people just want to see him lose, and I'm one of them. I wanted them to lose. I do recognize his greatness, though. I would never take it away from him. He's a great player. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I just wanted to see him lose, and I really wanted to see him get blown out. But I didn't get that wish. Again, I wished that on Peyton Manning last year, and I did get that, but I didn't get it for Tom Brady. And it just goes to show you, there's only one quarterback that can beat Tom Brady. That's my man Eli Manning. He's the only guy. He's the only guy with the magic that could do it. So I got my little Eli Manning plug in there. We can move on.
Okay. All right. So then the next item up for debate is this theory that the Seahawks chose to pass because they wanted Russell Wilson to be the face of the Seahawks, not Marshawn Lynch. Have you heard this before, Malik?
I did hear this, and I think it's a whole lot of exposition for no particular reason. I mean, it's really it actually saddens me that that people would take something like this situation and like throw this whole throw this whole spin on it, like as if there's this governing body on this team that is uh, so consumed with images and so consumed with what they want to what they want to portray, that they would be willing to sacrifice winning the championship, which is the championship. You got to remember the championship of the football or any sport is a representation for not just the 50 guys on the team or the coaches, but it's for everyone. It's for the city. It's for the fans all over the country, all over the world. I mean, there's Seattle Seahawks fans that live in that live in that are in Afghanistan right now fighting wars and stuff like that. So to me, it should be about winning. And whatever decision that he made, my full belief is that it was in the best interest of the team trying to win this game. So maybe he outthought himself and put his team in a bad situation, and he made a call that 99 times out of 100 he would not have made, and he made that call because he saw something and he didn't, and he believed that he could win that way. I'm not ready to call conspiracy theory on it. I think that there's anybody that is doing that is really doing themselves a disservice. And the thing that really bothered me was when former players started tweeting about this, like people that that have stake in the NFL, that played the game and understand what it takes to be a coach or be a player in that situation and really put your all into something, and then to have somebody completely undermine it and say that things are done with some underhanded motive. I mean, say that about the league if you want to, and the way that they treat their players and the way they treat their stars, but on the field when the game is being played, to say that a coach was looking out for his bottom line and his team's bottom line and made a decision to basically lose the game because he didn't want Marshawn Lynch, the thug, to be the face of the team. It makes no sense.
Now, Joe, do you think it's plausible that it could be true?
I think anything can be true. I mean, I understand the line of thinking. I don't necessarily agree with it or think that it is true, but I could see where that line of thinking comes into play, especially after the week that Marshawn Lynch had with the media. So where he's like, I'm just here so I won't get fined, or telling reporters, I don't even know why you showed up. The week that he had with the media, I could see where that line of thinking comes in and the conspiracies start, because like Malik said, usually 99 times out of 100, Marshawn Lynch has handed the football and game's over, right? I mean, we don't know, there's no certainties in life. I don't know, maybe the Patriots make this great stand and hold them on 3 more attempts, maybe for getting 1 yard, but the odds are that if he ran the ball, he would have scored a touchdown, and we would be having a whole different discussion today. The Seahawks would be back-to-back Super Bowl champions. But he elected to pass the ball, and I remember, I don't know if you had this feeling when I saw him get into a shotgun. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is he gonna throw the ball, or is he gonna fake it and then give it to Marshawn? And then when he stepped back to pass, I was like, oh my God, only bad things can happen here, and it did.
Well, is it at least possible that all of those factors shaded the decision when it was not that it was the key factor, but it just played a little bit of a part in making that decision? It just pushed it over the edge just enough so that he would go with the throwing instead of the rushing.
I don't know, Malik. What do you think? I mean, I was thinking about and it's been all over the media all day too. The notion that Pete Carroll is just trying to be just a little too cute with his play calling there. He's trying to one up Tom Brady and say, hey, look, this is what I can do. I got Russell Wilson, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass from the 1 yard line, and really not thinking thinking that is not the best way to do it, but just trying to be cocky and say, here, you know what, I'm not only going to win this game, I'm going to win it with a Russell Wilson pass. And, I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I honestly think that that's it, and I think that there's that rhetoric or there's that thought that anybody believing that he didn't want Marshawn Lynch to score the touchdown. Well, someone on one of the sports networks said it today, and they indicated that they handed the ball off to Marshawn the previous play. So in all possibilities, Marshawn could have ran it in on that first play, and it would in this whole situation about this whole skepticism about whether or not they really wanted Marshawn to score the touchdown would be null and void. So if they didn't want him to score, they wouldn't have given it to him the first time either.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously the opportunity to score is there every time he touches the football. So, I think that it was exactly what you said, and even the coach himself, he explained it in kind of the way coaches talk, which is like way over the heads of the majority of people who read and who watch the game. But he explained it in a way that it made sense from the perspective of a coach, that he made that decision. And even though none of us agree with it, and anyone who heard him just said, that's crazy that you would even consider doing something like that, this is how coaches think. This is how people think. Sometimes we look at a decision that's made to cast a certain person in a film, and you sit there and you wonder to yourself, what the hell were these people thinking when they did this, right? Or to Johanna's credit, when she mentions Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson sit into a room and make a song, and Johanna sits there like, what the fuck were you guys thinking?
Johanna was just wrong about that one. But anyway,
this is her perspective. But what I'm saying is, everybody's perspective is rooted in something, and everybody has their own way of thinking when they make a decision. And I truly don't believe that this coach, who's been coaching for 30 years or more, has won championships in college. He's won championships in the professional game, and his credibility is on the line. Really thinks about whether or not Marshawn Lynch is going to have a good interview after the Super Bowl if I hand him the ball. And since I don't believe he's going to have that good interview, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let Russell Wilson be the champion.
Maybe it's more like he's just been a pain in the ass all week, and you're like kind of sick of his shit.
I would get that, Lorenzo. I would really get that if there was any indication that the two of them had any kind of problems with each other.
Right.
And all signs have always pointed to, although Marshawn has had problems with the media inside his team and
right.
with the people that he's with on a regular basis, they love him, and they absolutely they have no problems with him, and they completely accept him for who he is.
Okay. So what do you guys think? McKenna, Johanna, would you say that this conspiracy theory is dead?
I mean, it's been dead to me. Yeah, I had my husband explain to me what the hoopla was about, and he asked me some weird scenario, like he turned on he's like, so, you're at the 1 yard line and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, honey, you need to, break this down. So after maybe 20 minutes of breaking it down, he's like, well, what would you do? Would you pass or would you run it? I'm like, pass it. And he's like, you're wrong. So that was how I was introduced in this manner. And it did seem like a very stupid play, or I was told that it was stupid after being told that my response was wrong.
Okay, so if you were in his place, you might have done the exact same thing.
Because I don't know the rules of football.
So, I mean, as highly unlikely as it would be that you would be in his place, I'm just saying you might make the same call.
Well,
you basically did make the same call, is what you're saying.
The thing is, my one sportsy type sports that I enjoy sporting and watching is basketball. So in basketball, if you're that...
I'm right there with you, Johanna. Yeah. I'm actually wearing a Brooklyn Nets shirt right now.
There we go.
Represent.
I'm thinking of...
Why are you wearing a Brooklyn Nets shirt? Shouldn't you be wearing a Sacramento Kings shirt?
Kings, Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento Kings.
No, because you know what? We've had this conversation, Joe. I enjoy rooting for the Nets the same way I enjoy rooting for the Kings, because they're, a team with not a lot of history in the city that they're in, but with a very, very fun, very loyal fan base. And that's why I like rooting for them.
Do you think the Nets have that yet?
Sorry?
Do you think the Nets have that yet?
Have what? A really loyal fan base?
No.
Yeah, like a rabid, fun, loyal
Yeah.
fan base.
Oh
Those 2
my
years
god.
mean a lot.
I've been to 3 Nets games so far, and all 3 of them have been just so much fun. And I mean, the first Nets game that I went to was the Nets versus the Heat when LeBron James was still on the team. And the Heat had just lost to the Knicks the night before, and so the Nets and the Nets and the Heat went into double overtime, and the Nets won. And that was just like, it was, not only was it one of the best games of basketball that I've ever seen, it was one of the definitely one of the most fun games I've ever been to, just because Brooklyn went insane. And even if Brooklyn doesn't like absolutely love their team yet, they love the Barclays Center. So anytime that you have that whole fan base in that place together, people start going insane.
Yeah, you said that was the first game you went to?
That was the first Nets game I went to.
Yeah, see, like, that's the thing about fandom, or, like, even with drugs. Like, if your first time doing the drug, like, is good, then you're just gonna, like, want to chase after that.
Totally.
So it's like, that's the way it was with heroin for me. Like, my first time was just unbelievable, and then every time after that, I was just trying to duplicate.
And it took more and more to get that same high, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was up to like 3 or 4 balloons a day.
Balloons, huh?
Is that a lot? I don't know. Okay, so then the other thing that we were going to talk about, since we're on the subject of drug abuse and self-destructive tendencies, and the need for good insurance, we had some depressing. Well, let me read you what it said, because I actually bought the New York Post today. I spent $1 on it. I mean, last time I bought the New York Post, I think it was 50 cents.
I feel sorry for you, Lorenzo.
Well, let me just read you what it says here. It won't go down as an all-time classic, but on a night when the hotly anticipated TV ads revolved around domestic violence, accidents. This is actually about Katy Perry, so I'm just going to read this part. The hotly anticipated TV ads revolved around domestic violence, accidents, and infant mortality. The California girl. Oh yeah. So would you say that's true? Especially the infant mortality commercial from.
It was a depressing Super Bowl commercial Sunday. It was depressing.
What about the puppy? I liked the puppy. It made me kind of tear up a little bit.
Yeah,
Love
the puppy
puppies.
was good. The puppy returning home in the Budweiser commercial. That was good, but Budweiser had a few commercials out there. They had the puppy one. What was there was another one. I can't remember, but Nissan had a good one about using the Cats in the Cradle song, where the guy is a race car driver, and his son is growing up, and they skip through the years as the son grows up. He's watching his dad. His dad gets into an accident in the Nissan on the racetrack, but he's okay. He gets out, and then as he's older, he's like in high school or something, and then the dad shows up in a Nissan to pick him up from school, a surprise pickup, and that ended on a good note, but it looked like it was going the depressing route. For like 30 seconds there, it looked like it was going to be depressing, and then it had a good ending. But
you mentioned the Lindsay Lohan one. What is that noise? You guys hear that?
Yeah.
yeah, I hear it.
Okay.
Oh.
Here,
I
let
don't
me
know where it's coming from.
myself in case it's me, but I don't think it is.
It's not Johanna.
All right, everybody mute themselves, and then we'll just turn on another one. Sounds crazy. Is that McKenna?
Do you guys hear me? Am I making a noise?
Not
I
anymore.
think it was McKenna.
Sound like you were popping popcorn.
but it.
Oh.
Uh, okay. Um, where were we? We were talking about
Commercials.
commercials, and I wanted to bring up Lindsay Lohan because Joe, you had mentioned the Lindsay Lohan, so I checked it out. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
I haven't seen the Walter White one.
Oh,
What?
there's also the Liam Neeson commercial.
What?
Oh, when he's talking on the phone.
And he's on like some sort of Metroid or whatever it's
Yeah, he's
called,
playing-
Minecraft thing.
He's playing one of those video games, and he's like gonna get revenge because one of the guys, somebody killed him in the game. And he's like, I'm gonna get you. And then she's like, Mr. Liam, your coffee's ready. And he goes to me, goes, it's Liam. And he takes his coffee, and he's like, all right, back to whatever the guy's code name is. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna get my revenge and all that stuff. Clearly, I mean, it was taken right out of the Taken movies. But yeah, that was okay. And most of those commercials weren't very memorable, with the exception of maybe the Mountain Dew one, where the dog is twerking and everybody's dancing, the couch is jumping around. That commercial was pretty funny. If you get a chance to check it out. But other than that, there really weren't too many things, too many commercials that I'm gonna remember. It's not like my all-time favorite ones, like the Darth Vader, the little kid in the Darth Vader outfit trying to start things in the house, and then he ends up starting I think it was a Passat or a Volkswagen car, whatever it is.
Yeah, Volkswagen. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously the classic office linebacker. I mean, there's been nothing like that in years.
That's like your favorite, right?
That is. It's like one of my favorite Super Bowl commercials. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? But the Fast 7 preview
Right.
during the Super Bowl, that was awesome.
What I want to know is why the hell they would open up another Jurassic Park. No sense to me whatsoever.
Well,
You're gonna go see it. There's no doubt about that.
Man, that new dinosaur that popped out of like Shamu, I think they took that straight from that Blackfish movie.
That's not the new dinosaur though.
It's not. That was the one
no,
I
the new-
saw. It really
Yeah, the
surprised
new
me.
dinosaur is like standing outside, like man-made, man-created, and I don't know. They only show like little glimpses of them. You don't get to see the whole thing.
you get to see that thing's mouth.
Yeah.
You get to see that thing's mouth, and that thing is freaking scary. It's all hell.
But he's got the Raptors on his side. He's like on the motorcycle with the Raptors. Let's get him, guys.
Well, I think
Yeah, what's that guy's name? Chris Pratt?
Pratt.
Chris
Yeah.
Pratt.
Lord.
That's why I'm going to see it.
I
It's
think-
Jurassic Park and Chris Pratt's in it.
I
Those
know.
two, the only things. I couldn't care less what that movie's about or what the dialogue is going to be. It is Jurassic
What
Park
kind of-
and it's got Chris Pratt in it.
It's Guardians of Jurassic World.
Woo!
So I think that the story is that they've genetically altered these dinosaurs to be more docile and more people friendly.
Life will find a way.
So
Thank you, Malcolm.
basically,
Chaos
yeah.
theory. Chaos
So-
theory.
So basically, the raptors are no longer. I mean, they're still, obviously dangerous or whatever, but they're no longer like untamed or unable to be corralled. And so Chris Pratt plays like the lion tamer of the park, and so that's kind of his. He works there, and it's kind of his role in the film, which is why he's able to like work with these raptors. And they don't just automatically kill him. Obviously, they recognize him, they know who he is, and they, I guess, trust him in some sort.
Well, if
Some
we learned
way, shape, or
anything
form.
from the previous Jurassic movies, they're like the smartest dinosaurs ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
So,
maybe
yeah.
until we see this new one, because obviously this
Yeah.
new one, because this new one is obviously just a mashup of all these different dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So
They must have found a lot of different mosquitoes for that one.
So it looked like the Age of Ultron, Age of Ultron commercial, our trailer was actually, I've seen it before, I think, in the theater, maybe. So it
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't
it's-
it wasn't a new one.
No, it's not. It doesn't. It's not showing any new clips. It's just kind of splicing together, the same old clips. If you don't
Oh,
go to the
okay.
theaters, yeah. If you don't go to the theaters, if you've seen one trailer, they're really. I think they're really keeping things close to the hip on this movie, and they're not. That's probably why they're not either releasing the same trailers over and over again, because they haven't really shown much. They've given you just enough to wet your palate. But
Yeah.
obviously there's plenty that's gonna happen in this movie that they're not showing you. Or there better be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, I guess. I would have rather had seen a new Star Wars commercial. I think a new Star Wars trailer.
Yeah, nah,
I'm
you're not
looking forward to that. I mean, it's this summer, right? Like we're
No, it's
delayed.
this winter. It's coming out December.
Oh.
Have they already finished principal shooting?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I didn't even think. I mean, I don't even think they've got all their raw footage yet, let alone anything
Like
edited.
they
Well,
probably.
they already got one trailer out there, but it doesn't show much.
Yeah,
They
but
did
that's
the-
like
Yeah,
that was like
it's a teaser.
a couple stills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Um,
imagine they'd have to do a bunch of reshoots too after, especially with the special effects and stuff.
Mm.
all the fixing it in post is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but seriously, like like they spent like 5 or 8 years working on the Ewok. It couldn't have been 8. It must have been like 5. When did Return of the Jedi come out?
1983,
When did Empire Strikes Back come out?
1980. They're all 3 years apart.
So yeah,
77, 80, 83.
I think they said 6 years they worked on the Ewok. I mean, not the Ewok, the land speeder scene in Return of the Jedi. McKenna,
Yes.
can you mute your mic? Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely McKenna.
And then it stops. It's weird. Okay. McKenna, turn your.
What's going on?
Oh, it's just you get like real staticky on your end.
A
Really
lot
bad.
staticky on your end.
Is that any better?
A little bit. It's still like crackling.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't hear it at all.
No.
Super loud.
Real? Do you guys want me to leave and then come back?
Well, I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're pretty much done.
Just try pausing your mic and then, mute your mic, and then when it's your turn to say goodbye, try unmuting it, and hopefully
Okay.
it works out.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Technical problems is just part of the show.
Okay, yeah. Let me mute it. Hold on.
So we can get our own studio.
Yeah. Well, what's up with the brick house, Malik? The Brooklyn community.
Yeah, he's still trying to round up, people to actually work the set with him because he's having trouble. I told you guys, he has his own show that he's working on too,
Mhm.
and he just has trouble, rounding up a crew to do the actual show. But yeah, I'm actually, he's one of the guys going to this wedding with me over the weekend, so I will be hanging out with him this weekend. So I'm definitely gonna mention it to him again, get the ball rolling on it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't really need a crew. We just need to mic ourselves, and then we can put all the cameras stationary. So we just need like a director, like a technical director / director. But we're getting off totally off topic here. So that was the last thing that I had down here for us to cover. We had Katy Perry, we had Tom Brady hate, and we had the Marshawn Lynch Russell Wilson conspiracy, along with a bit of talk about the depressing commercials. McKenna, did you see? Were there any commercials that stuck out to you?
What was the commercial where like there was the old guy who had like swag all of a sudden? Is I the only one who remembered that one? And I think it's because he had like the Amazonian woman next to him in the tracksuit.
I didn't see that one.
No, I don't even remember what it was
vaguely
for. That's
remember.
just like the image that I remember. It was just like this old man hunched over in his like swag and this like just huge woman like towering over him in this gray sweatsuit looking ratchet. I don't know. That's all I remember.
I'll tell you what a great commercial was yesterday that I remember. Now that you mentioned Old Person McKenna, when the old guy, there's an older couple, he comes out of the bathroom and the woman's like, yeah, come on, let's get it on. So he goes to the bathroom to get his blue pill, and he goes to throw the pill into his mouth, and he misses his mouth altogether, and the pill flies out the window, and it starts bouncing around everything. It's getting shot across town, and then it ends up in a Fiat. When the guy's gonna get ready to put gas in his old Fiat, and then the pill goes in there, and then it like gets muscles, like it just like pops up, and it just gets bigger. The car gets bigger.
Oh.
And then he comes back to his car. He's like, "Holy shit!" The guy's like looking around. Oh my god, what happened to my car? And it was like you know how small those Fiats are. It like
Yeah.
increased in size. So that commercial was funny.
On that note, we're gonna wrap it up and say goodbye. Be sure to stay tuned. We're gonna be releasing some new content and some old content probably by the time you're listening to this. We got a little backed up. That's my bad. But we're coming back strong in February, so stay tuned. Okay, so on behalf of everyone, I'm gonna wish you adieu. Good night. See you next time. It sounds stupid to say see you next time because really we're not seeing each other. So
Later.
listen to you next time. Listen. That just doesn't sound right. Yeah. What Joe said. Joe, hit it again.
Later.
Good job. All right, we're out.